In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most hardest yet most powerfulest thing that guys have a hard time with, and that's sex. Sharp King coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, offer of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. Now, you have to be, as a man, you have to take control of your lust for sex. I know what you're thinking. Like, man, I got to have it. Got to have it 5-7 times a week, man. Man, it's so good, man. You know, I can't get enough of her, man. Man, I love her, man. Yeah, I've heard it all. I probably said it all to myself at one point. But here's something to keep in mind. Too much of anything is not good. Moderation is key when it comes to this. Too much of anything is so anything can become an addiction. Just like alcohol, sex, drugs, because it's too much. Too much of anything is not good. Especially if you like everything fast. It's like living in a big city. That's why a lot of people get turned out in the big city. Because everything is fast in a big city. A major city like New York, LA, Chicago, Miami, Houston, Dallas. I've known a lot of people that I grew up with. Not a lot, but some people I grew up with. And some people that I went to school with. When they went to those big cities, man, they got turned out, man. They might have left from home or left from school, didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do nothing. Man, when a couple years later, after graduation, after school, and then I see them now, and they buck wild, wide open, man. You know, they running through women. It's men and women that do this. But I'm focusing on the guys, you know. But this is why I always say you have to be disciplined. See, a disciplined man understands the purpose of sex. See, I'm not saying you shouldn't have sex. But if you're going to do it, you have to do it the way you want to do it. You have to control your desire for it. I'll give you an example. And when I was in my 20s, you know, I was having a good time. I was getting it in. I have to admit. But I learned a lot of valuable lessons because it's been at least 3 to 4 times things could have went left real fast. And being that the type of guy I am, you know, I think real fast. I think on my feet real quick. So I knew what to say and I knew what to do. And I know when something ain't right. So if something ain't right, I listen to my gut instincts. If something ain't right, I'm out of there. Like ASAP. That's just how I get down. So I have that gift. You know, I'm an empathic person. I can tell if I go to somebody's house, something ain't right. I need to be getting up out of here. But I give you an example. Let's say I go to visit somebody from out of town. This has happened many times. I go to visit somebody from out of town. Maybe it's my first time here, or maybe I don't come here very often, so I don't know my way around. So my man said, yo, let's go out. So let's hit the town tonight. I said, all right, cool, man. It's whatever, bro. I'm here chilling with you, man. It's whatever. You know, right? So, you know, if you out and about with guys, more than likely, you're gonna meet people. I always meet people when I go out of town or go to visit some of my partners, some of my friends, or whatever, even family. Right? More than likely, I'm gonna meet somebody in that town at some point, right? So it's been a few times where it's like I might have met this woman, and I'm like, yo, maybe we had a good vibe going on or whatever, and I don't want the night to end. I want things to escalate, or maybe I can see her later on tonight, or maybe tomorrow, or whatever, right? So let's say, assuming things escalated past the club, or past the bar, or wherever we was at, right? I might say, hey, um, let's take this thing. I think we should get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Let's go somewhere else or whatever, right? And it's been a couple times where the woman said, hey, you can come back to my house or whatever, right? Now, it's been times where I have went back to a woman's house. But it's been a very select few times. I was like, something ain't right about this chick. I'm like, I said, hey, I tell you what, you come back to my hotel if that's how you want to get down. If because I know she wanted to get down and dirty with the brother. So I'm like, hey, I tell you what, you come back to my hotel. You come where we at. I'm familiar with the hotel where I'm at. But I didn't know her intentions, her true intentions. You know what I'm saying? Because it only takes a split second to make a bad decision. And I've seen a lot of guys fall and lost everything when it comes to this. And see, it's been times where some of my partners went to a woman's house or went to her hotel, wherever she was staying at, and they got robbed. They got their money taken. He got the jewelry taken. They got everything taken. Got the car stolen. Got, stuff like that. That stuff happens. And the reason why it happens is because guys just go along with their thirst for sex. Basically. See, if you're gonna do it the way you want to do it. Don't let her take the lead. See, a lot of guys get so caught up in the moment, caught up in how the woman looks, caught up in how they feel about the woman. They lose all train of thought. And this is how a lot of guys get gotten. This is why a lot of guys I know, they work hard for all these years to attain all the accolades and the achievements they've done in their town, in their city, and just with their family. And as soon as they met that one woman, they went from hero to zero. This is why a lot of guys are in jail. A lot of guys are in jail because of a woman. That's where it stems from. It stems from their desire of sex, because when before that woman came along, 9 times out of 10, everything was organized. They had very little problems. They were focused. But if the wrong woman comes around that don't have your best intentions, you could lose everything. You could lose your whole livelihood. You could go to prison. This is why Bill Cosby's in jail. Because his thirst for women. Because if he would have done it like he wanted to do it, I can almost guarantee you he wouldn't be in jail right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if I'm leaving my house and I'm going to the Playboy Mansion, that ain't my environment. I'm just a visitor over here. So if you're going to do dirt, have your own environment. Do it your way. in a controlled environment that you're familiar with. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't have sex. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying if you're going to do it the way you want to do it. Don't be led around by somebody else, by a third party, by some other woman that you barely know, by some other guy that you barely know, by somebody that's hooking you up or introducing you to a bunch of women. No, don't do it like that. Don't do it like that. You know, I mean, I understand if you have a friend that's want to introduce you to a woman or whatever, that's okay. But I'm talking about if this becomes like a routine, no. 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 That's what I always say. My game, my life, my show. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it my way, because if it goes left, I don't have anybody to blame but myself. I'll be like, hey, you know what? I got to eat that. I made a bad decision, and I'm going to have to work. I'm going to have to get through this. But if somebody else makes the decision, I take their lead. Now I'm looking at this person like, yo, man, you set me up. You know, what's up with that? So, you know, sex is probably one of the most powerful urges that we have as men. This is why you have to be disciplined. This is why I always preach self-discipline. Because if you don't have enough self-discipline, you'll fall for almost anything. And women already know this. This is why a lot of women know that they ain't worth a nickel. This is why that's their bargaining chip, the sex. Any woman that leads with sex, 9 times out of 10, she knows she ain't worth a nickel. Because if she thought she had more value as a woman, she wouldn't lead with sex. So an undisciplined man would fall for that. He would fall for a woman that lead with sex. But a disciplined man would shut her down. Would be like, hey, ain't that type of party over here. And then if she kept doing it, you had to charge her to the game. You had to get rid of her. Right? And the only reason she would keep doing it again because she don't have respect for you. So you really would have to get rid of her. Now, if she has enough respect for you, she won't do it again once you check her. That's what a disciplined man would do. A self-disciplined man would check her at the door. But the undisciplined man would be like, oh, man, I wanted to hit it, man. And these are the type of guys that end up in the courtroom having babies by women that weren't really into them in the first place. And they find themselves getting hustled by the child support system. These are the guys that are undisciplined. And they fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And the woman is laughing and smiling, and now you whining and complaining, and she's giving you a hard time. The reason why she's giving you a hard time, you shouldn't have laid up with that woman in the first place. Because she led with sex. That was her bargaining chip from the get-go. Or maybe she was a booty call. You shouldn't have been late. You shouldn't have got her pregnant, player. Shouldn't have got her pregnant, player. But you did what you did, and now you don't want to accept responsibility for it. You know this chick didn't like you, and you didn't like her. But y'all was just laying down, having sex, and y'all did what y'all did. And when the thing goes down, nobody want to accept responsibility for it. But if you was a real player, you would have took things into your own hands. You would have done the whole sex thing your way from jump. So hey man, You gotta take control of your sexual desires, man. If you don't, someone else will. So hey, if you like this video, subscribe below, click the bell below, and check out ChooseYourRelationships.com. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.